This episode of the Android Apps Weekly Show is brought to you by Tap and Flap. Hello again, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Joe Handy, the Android Authority app guy, and welcome back to the Android Apps Weekly Show. Let's get right into those headlines. MasterCard is working on a new application that will let you take selfies for payments by verifying the identity of the user before processing a payment. This would be among the precious few instances where selfies are actually useful. In an interesting twist, Shadowgun Deadzone by Madfinger Games has mods now. The modding will allow people to change characters, weapons, levels, and even some of the game mechanics. All you have to do is download the Deadzone GM kit, which we'll have linked in the video description below. Sony and Twitch have teamed up together to allow broadcasting gameplay from Sony Xperia devices. Right now it's limited to only the most recent Xperia lineup, including the Z3 Plus and Z4, but this gives mobile gamers more ways to stream on Twitch. Microsoft has rebranded their entertainment apps to lose the Xbox moniker. From now on, Xbox Music will be known as Groove, while Xbox Video will be called Movies and TV. This is likely in anticipation for the Windows 10 launch later next month. Last up this week, Telltale Games has released the first trailer for the highly anticipated Minecraft Story Mode game. It definitely looks like a Minecraft game, except this one will have a storyline. In classic Telltale Games fashion, this will be an episodic adventure, and it should be pretty good. For even more Android apps and games news, don't forget to check out this week's newsletter, which is linked in the video description below. There we'll have all the updates, new releases, and headlines that we didn't have time for here. If you want, you can sign up with your email, and we'll send you all of that stuff every single Friday. Okay folks, let's take a look at the apps and games that made a big splash this week. As usual, if you want to check any of these apps and games out, you can find the links in the video description below. The popular keyboard Flexi made a huge announcement this last week. They have lowered the price of their application to free, and it will now be supported with in-app purchases. Flexi had a huge year in 2014 and is considered one of the best and most popular keyboards around. We anticipate it being free will only help to continue that endeavor. Along with going free, it will also be receiving an update to bring some new features soon. Action Launcher got a fairly significant update this last week. A new feature called Quick Bar was added that allows users to customize the search bar at the top. This allows fast access to applications along with a little more functionality. The update also included some minor tweaks and changes, along with the boilerplate bug fixes and performance improvements. It's a good launcher if you're ever in the market for another one. Disney has released an official Star Wars application that's meant to be your one-stop shop for all things Star Wars. The application includes notifications for big announcements and releases, content from the Star Wars blog, and even Star Wars GIFs. The application can also be themed based on your preference of the Force. The application is experiencing some release date issues that Disney is working through, but it's a good download for fans. Rambo is a surprisingly intense game that's kind of a parody of the Rambo series. This is a 2D side-scrolling shooter where you must race up and down rivers and mow down bad guys. The graphics aren't amazing, but they definitely aren't bad, and it even includes a poker game mechanic. It's definitely a time-waster type of game, but let's face it, there's gambling and guns. What else could you possibly need? Tossup is a new application out of Microsoft Garage, and it's a fun little app. What it does is help you plan events and gather opinions about things. Using this application, you can ask people if they plan on attending an event and get answers back very quickly. You can also use it to find things like restaurants or even individual opinions about something. It's a bit simple and there are some release day bugs, but it's definitely worth a shot. This week's episode of the Android Apps Weekly Show is brought to you by Tap and Flap. I know this is a Flappy Bird clone, but this one is actually pretty decent. It comes with Google Play Games achievements and leaderboards, and if you pay the very reasonable $1.49 for the in-app purchases, you'll have all 5 levels to choose from, each with their own bird skin. Once you unlock all the achievements, you can change birds and even obstacles to whatever you want. It's a time waster, sure, but it's a decent one and it's kid-friendly. Check it out and show your support for the Android Apps Weekly Show. Once again, I'm Joe Handy, the Android Authority app guy. While you're here, why not subscribe to the Android Authority YouTube channel? If you're hanging out for a minute, we have a couple of awesome videos for you to watch right over there, and they're also linked in the video description below for you folks on mobile. Finally, don't forget to check out the written companion, which is in the video description below, and don't forget to sign up for that newsletter and check us out on Twitch. As always, thanks for watching, everybody, and have a wonderful day.